Remains to be seen. I'm a free agent, so we'll see. I've had good talks with the club, though. So for a 15-year career to have options is a good thing. So we'll see.
I didn't know, with the Nagbe reports of him going back home, if you had a desire to go.
They want me to be Nagbe next year. That's what they told me. So I'm going to work on it this offseason.
What would that work include?
A lot of Wheaties.
How big will he be missed?
Huge. I would put him as top 1, 2, 3 performers for the team this year. And that's huge. So important. So vital. A lot of our best games, we walked off the field saying, God, we had Darlington. And that's just who he is. So, there's also the club that lost Miguel Almiron. So, we're going to miss him for sure. But the club will have to find a way to bounce back.
How would you describe DeBoer's first season as a manager in MLS with Atlanta?
Good. A couple trophies, chance to compete, 15 minutes away from the MLS Cup. It's a good season.
I don't know if you've been I can't remember, but anyway, with the CBA being so uncertain, how does that affect being a player who's a free agent or trying to get a new contract? Does it make this process more difficult? I don't know.
For me, no, because I've qualified by 10 years almost. But for, other players who are right around that threshold, I think it sucks. I think that, there's the Players Association has obviously had the players' best interests in mind and trying to get a contract signed, but repeatedly we've been put off, and that affects players that are in that limbo space. So there will certainly be probably maybe 50, 75 players this season, maybe more, over 100 that are not free agents in 2019 that will be free agents in 2020. And the rules of 2020 could have been free agents in 2019 if you follow. So it's frustrating for those players. For me, I've qualified, so it's different.
How have the negotiations been going with the league? I mean, has it been? Do you feel like you're progressing, or do you feel like that you're being, like you said, put off, blockaded on? How's it going?
I would say we're following patterns of old. I think that from our side, though, I can't speak for the league. Our preparedness is there, and we have shown them on paper exactly what we want and feel is fair. And we're in a spot now where we're waiting to see from them.
Talking about following patterns of old, is that, because I know the players have not been happy about how it's gone in the past in previous negotiations. Is that concerning? Those patterns?
Not really, because, we've seen this before. So we as players are prepared for that. I think that we don't get discouraged by that. We know how they operate, and if they choose to operate differently, then that's great. And if they don't, it's something that we're prepared for.
Jeff, whether you're here or not next year, how do you anticipate this club preparing for 2020, knowing what they know now, the competition that they'll be involved in, the amount of rest that they will have, players? What do you think what will change, and what do you think is one of the bigger takeaways from last season?
I think we're in a better position, the club's in a better position to go from 2019 to 2020 than they were in 2018 to go into 2019. The offseason was incredibly short last year. We went to the final. You lose Miguel Almiron. You get thrust in the Champions League, and you've never played there before. 2020, you have a longer break. You have the experience of not performing to the standard that you'd hope for in the Champions League and learning some lessons. Costa Rica, Monterrey in Mexico, etc. That's all valuable, and I think that helps you prepare for 2020. I'm sure that everyone involved, the staff, the front office, the players have learned from that experience, and we'll take that into this year, to next year, and that's something we didn't have this year.
What lessons were there, specifically in CONCACAF?
I thought we strolled into Costa Rica, and that comes down to mindset. I thought that, not that we didn't, but you have to value every single day of preseason because the season begins so soon. We went to Fullerton, and I don't think Southern California has seen as much rain as we got when we were there, and that's just nature, unfortunately. So it affected how we were able to train and prepare. So, not that we're looking at weather forecasts and trying to avoid that, but you have to take every day, get as much out of it in preseason.
And then finally, you're in the same situation you were last year, really, like as far as what your future may look like. You're coming off 2018, one of your better years, in my opinion. 2019, you're playing at a high level again at the end of the season. How much of an impact was that in just you're deciding your future, whether you stay, whether you play, where you go?
Huge. I mean, the mind of an athlete, the mind of a guy who's not involved, you have doubt creeped in. I don't care who you are. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't creep in a bit, but I always believe in myself. I know that, I've played in a lot of games, played in a lot of playoff games. I know that if you put me in there, I know what I can do. The doubt's there. You're saying, oh man, I'm not playing this game, I'm not playing the next game, I didn't play the game before that, and maybe something's going on. And that's like I'm saying, the mind of the athlete is, I know I can do it, and I knew I could, and so for me to roll into 2020 off of some of those performances at the end of the year is huge, and validates the thoughts that I have in my head about myself, and hopefully it gives something to the decision makers.
What does your offseason look like in terms of time off and getting back ready for it? Brad said, he only takes a couple of weeks because he's not young like he used to. Can anybody wants to take 5 weeks off? What does it look like for you?
Brad was running today, so I don't know he's talking about weeks off. He's got a busy schedule, and he's leaving for more work. Me, I get to do one of my favorite things, just drop my kids off at preschool right now, and kind of be a parent, as nerve-wracking as I can be at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's also one of the best things, one of the best parts of this job. So I'll take some time off. They give us a plan, and I'll get into that too. But yeah, kind of what Brad's saying. As an older guy, you're not going out and doing CrossFit every day. I'm gonna feel it out and enjoy the time while I can, and then listen to my body, and when I feel like I'm ready to go, I'll get going again.
What does that plan entail? If you can give us some nutrition, health, fitness?
Yeah, I mean, I think I used to do a lot of running in the off season, lots and lots of running, lots of street running. I don't think that's very good for me anymore, especially with drivers in Atlanta. So it's kind of more of a mind-body approach. Maybe it's kind of more about stretching. Maybe it's more about strengthening different areas. So I don't necessarily feel like I need to put too many more miles on my body.
Brad said he thought that the owners were receptive.
The owners?
The owners / league were receptive to some of the things that y'all looking for in the senior charter flags and the elimination of the bucket. So I was curious if that was your sense also.
If I'm an owner, I would be receptive too. I'm looking at an investment that is, in the grand scheme of things, very low risk, and the league continues to improve. And if you're in the league as an investment, you want it to improve. So, what's the best way to improve it? Take care of the players, because that's the product. So, again, if I'm an owner, then absolutely, I'm into that. Why wouldn't I want my my players compensated so that they can perform at their best and travel the way they should. And why wouldn't I want the ability to sign as many good players as I can in an open market? So if I were an owner, that's how I would feel too. But the dynamics are different. You have players on one side, and then you have the league leadership and the owners. And I think that the ownership is a bit split in terms of who wants what. So, it comes down for them to find some common ground. The players know exactly what it is.
Forbes recently released, its annual valuation list of MLS teams, and I think the average team's value increased by like 30% year over year or something like that. But 17 teams, I don't know, I can't remember the number, still operate at a loss. Are those? Do y'all use those as bargaining chips on both sides? I guess does the valuation of the teams and of the league get discussed?
I don't need the Forbes numbers to know where the league's going. I think that the Forbes numbers are really just rough, fun estimates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's based in some fact here and there, but you don't need those to know where the league's going. And you also don't need them to know that the league is growing without the control of, or as they loosen control that they have. And there's no fear continuing to do that. And I think that there are certainly more owners in the league now than there probably ever have been that are really enjoying putting together a really nice product. And there are ways to do that. And I think that in the end, those ways are good for everybody. The players, the ownership, those investments, those valuations.
Now that you've gone through the new playoff system, what do you think of it? Is it a good way to determine a league champion? Is it good for the league in general, or what are your thoughts on it?
I think they have a big issue on their hands when it comes to teams that are in first place, because to sit out for 18 days is not fair. The league has a huge scheduling problem that is a general scheduling problem that they need to sort out. So I understand why they have compacted the playoff schedule, but there are issues before and there are issues now. As a fan watching the games, when I watch Minnesota versus LA and it's one-off, that's enjoyable for sure. But not having to think about two games, do the math in my head and all that stuff as a fan is probably easy to digest. There are issues both ways, unfortunately. And the main thing for me is sitting out nearly 3 weeks to play your first playoff game. It doesn't make sense.
Is it feasible? I mean, talking about the